What's up, guys? Coming at you today with a full slate of MLB action on Wednesday, September 17th. We're going to give out plays on every MLB game on the slate. I'll give you my favorite underdog pick of the day and my massive lock, my pick that, regardless of price, I think is the best chance of cashing today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel to make sure you keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally read and answer every comment I get. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and you should definitely check back a couple of times throughout the day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and starters being confirmed. In terms of a recap, guys, we did not have a video there for Tuesday, so we're going to look back at what we did on Monday, and Monday Night Football was extremely kind to us, guys. Went almost exactly according to plan. We started things off very hot there with Tampa Bay at plus 2.5, a little bit of Baker magic, and they come away with the straight up win in that one. We had CJ Stroud under 230.5 passing yards, thinking that he was going to struggle again, and he sure enough did not have a great night. We also had Baker Mayfield over 16.5 rushing yards. He made it happen there, and we cashed that play at minus 120, so a nice little win there. Then on game number 2, I actually love there's mixed reviews, but I love these double Monday night games. We had the Chargers at minus 3.5. They came through a very convincing win there from the Chargers. Herbert, not the hottest day throwing the ball. They were up so much they really didn't have to throw it too much. He was okay out there, but did not get over his 255.5 passing yards. However, Geno Smith to throw an interception in this game, that was maybe the lock of the century. Easily cashed that one at minus 115. So a nice 5-1 day over those two NFL football games. We will definitely take that anytime, any day of the week. A 5-1 day feels really freaking good. So let's go ahead and dive in. Finally back to a full MLB slate here in a Wednesday video, and we're going to dive right in, guys. First game on this docket, we've got the Chicago Cubs going on the road to take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Cubs come into this game fresh off a solid win there in game 2. They've won 3 straight games, including the first 2 of this series, and they've won those pretty convincingly. Right now, they're 5 games back in Milwaukee in the NL Central, but they're looking very comfortable there in the wild card situation. They'll hand the ball in this one to Matthew Boyd, who's 13-8 on the year, a 3.05 ERA. He's fresh off a bad start against Tampa Bay. 5 innings, 5 hits, and 4 earned runs. Definitely not amazing. Walked 2, struck out 1. His strikeout numbers have been down, and his effectiveness has been down. He did have a good start against the Nationals, but I'm not throwing you a parade for that. So we'll see what he can do here against the Pirates, a team that, I mean, you don't have to be too terrified of. The last time he pitched against them, it was a dominant performance back in mid-June. So we'll see if Boyd can kind of get back after it in this one. The bullpen for the Cubs has been a little bit of a mixed bag down the stretch, but a 3.79 bullpen ERA, certainly not the end of the world. The offense for Chicago, I mean, 4-4-4, 4-6 over their last few games. The bats for this team have cooled off a lot since early in the season. I know they've had a few injuries and stuff like that, but really a little bit disappointing to see them all the way down to 14th in batting average and 11th in on-base percentage. So we'll see what they can do here going up against the Pirates, who at 65-87 on the year, not having a great time. They've lost, what is it up to now, like 9 out of their last 10 or something like that. A really tough stretch recently. Obviously, a team that's completely out of contention. They'll hand the ball in this one to Johan Oviedo. He's 2-0 on the year, a 2.81 ERA. He's fresh off an excellent start against Baltimore. 5 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. Even better start against Milwaukee, but the guy just doesn't get any run support. Over his last 5 starts, he's given up a total of 6 earned runs, and the Pirates are only 2-3 in those starts. So we'll see what he can do here against the Cubs. Obviously, he hasn't had that many big league starts this year. I'm expecting him to be pretty good, though, in this matchup. We'll see if he can help them salvage a win in this series. The Pirates bullpen, an ERA of just over 4. Not a complete disaster, but not great. The offense is a complete disaster, guys. 1-0-3, 5-5-2 over their last few. They're last in runs scored. They are 28th in batting average, and they're last in slugging percentage. This is one of the worst offenses in all of Major League Baseball. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Cubs are minus 155. The Pirates are plus 130. We've got a total of 8 in this one. The Cubs are 40-35 on the road, 36-34-5 to the under on the road. The Pirates are 42-34 at home, 40-34-2 to the under at home. The main play I like in this game is under 8. I think this should probably be a 7.5 spot, so we're showing a little bit of value there. I just don't think we're going to see a ton of offense. I think Boyd's going to be fine. I think Oviedo's going to be fine. In terms of the side, I will take the Cubs here as a small lean, but I'm not even in love with that. Like, the Cubs don't have a ton of pressure on them right now, so I do think the under is probably the way you want to go. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Cincinnati Reds heading to St. Louis to take on the Cardinals. The Reds have had a bit of a rough time recently, losing 4 out of their last 5. They lost game 2 of this series, 3-0. Cincinnati, I mean, they've got a lot of work to do. They're all the way 3 games back. They've got to leapfrog 3 teams, 4 if you count the Mets, to make it into the wild card. So they're definitely not out of the mix, but they need to string together some wins. They'll hand the ball in this one to Brady Singer, who's 13-10 on the year, a 3.94 ERA. He's coming off a very reasonable start against the Athletics, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs allowed. in a 3-0 loss. Now, the 4 starts before that, we saw the Reds come away with the win in each one of those starts, including a start against the Cardinals, where he went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits and 3 earned runs in a 7-4 win. So we'll see what he can do. That's obviously not an incredible start, but it's very solid. The bullpen for the Reds has been a problem. In the later parts of the season, a 4.12 bullpen ERA is not what you're looking for. And the offense, it's been a problem all year long. There have been times where there have been some pretty high highs, but there have also been some pretty low lows. Obviously, getting shut out in Game 2 of this series, a pretty bad look after scoring 11 runs in Game 1. Over the course of the season, they're 13th in runs scored, but 16th in batting average and 20th in slugging percentage. Just not the kind of offense you can depend on. Now, they're taking on the Cardinals, who also at 74 and 78, they're trying to cling to life there in the wild card hunt, but 4.5 games back, it's looking pretty bleak. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Andre Palante, who's 6 and 14 on the year, a 5.34 ERA. His last start, 5 innings, 3 hits, 5 runs, only 2 of which were earned. He walked 2 in an 8-2 loss there at the Milwaukee Brewers. The last time he faced the Reds, 5 innings pitched, 6 hits, 5 runs, only 2 of which were earned. He walked 4 and struck out 6. In that one, it was a 7-4 loss for the Cardinals. So I'm not loving what I'm seeing from Palante right now. He did have a solid start against the Giants. Cool, not about to throw you a parade for that. The Cardinals' bullpen has been very reasonable this year. A 3.70 bullpen ERA has not been the problem. The problem has been a pretty weak rotation and the bottom falling out of that offense that was drastically overachieving over the first half of the season. They're down to 27th in slugging percentage and 18th in runs scored. I think that's a much more realistic picture of where this team is at offensively. So, looking at the numbers for this game, the Reds are minus 115, the Cardinals are minus 105. We've got a total of 8.5 in this game. The Reds are 35 and 41 on the road. 42, 33, and 1 to the under on the road. The Cardinals are 41 and 35 at home, 38, 34, and 4 to the over at home. I'm going to be leaning towards the Reds in this one at minus 115. I don't trust Palante out there on the mound at all. I trust Brady Singer quite a bit more. Now, do I like this game enough to put it in the pinned comment there with the Reds to get the win? Maybe, but it seems like a slight stretch, so we'll have to wait and see. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Baltimore Orioles heading to Chicago to take on the White Sox. The Orioles come into this game winners of the first 2 of this series, winning 4-1 and 8-7 respectively. At 71 and 80 on the year, it's very admirable this team is actually trying here down the stretch. They are still 11 games out, though, in the American League wildcard hunt, so they're not going to make it, but it's been impressive to see what they've done down the stretch. They'll hand the ball in this one to Tyler Wells. He's 1-0 on the year, a 2.31 ERA. This is only his 3rd start of the season. The first 2 have gone great, though. Very good work against the Padres, very good work against the Pirates. Both of those outings came in wins. So very good stuff there for the Orioles. They've got to be happy with what they're seeing from Tyler Wells. The bullpen, on the other hand, I don't know if they're thrilled about that. It hasn't been very good this year, a 4.62 bullpen ERA. I guess it hasn't been a disaster recently, but didn't have a very good game 2. So we'll see what happens here in game 3. The offense, 8, 4, 2, 4, 1, 3, and 2 over their last few. This team just did not live up to expectations offensively this year. They're 23rd in batting average, 23rd in runs scored, 23rd on base percentage. Just not a great team at the plate, especially when you consider what they did a season ago. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the White Sox, who've now lost 5 straight games. They've had a pretty bad year. Not as bad as the Rockies, but pretty freaking bad. They'll hand the ball in this one to Martin Perez. He's 1-5 on the season, a 3.27 ERA. He's coming off a mediocre start against the Guardians. I mean, 6 2/3 innings, 4 hits, and 3 earned runs is not a debacle at all, but when you're pitching for the White Sox, you're going to be pretty shut down for them to have a chance to win the game. We'll see what he can do here against the Orioles. Not a team he's faced this year, but I expect pretty decent stuff from Martin Perez. He's thrown the ball well. He did have a bad start against Detroit, but other than that, I've really liked what he's done recently. The White Sox bullpen has not been terrible this year. A 4.09 bullpen ERA has them only slightly below average, so really not a ton of bad stuff to say about the White Sox pitching staff. Now, the offense is coming off a game where they scored 7 runs, so that's great, but over the course of the last few games, they've scored 7, 1, 2, 1, and 0. Some pretty cold bats. They're 26th in runs scored. They're 27th in batting average. Not a team that's had a good season at the plate. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Orioles are minus 125. The White Sox are plus 105. We've got a total of 8 in this one. Baltimore, 34 and 42 on the road. 44, 29, and 3 to the under on the road. The White Sox were 32 and 44 at home this year. 40, 31, and 5 to the over at home. In terms of the side here, I'm going to lean a bit towards the White Sox at plus 105. I don't love it, though. Tyler Wells has thrown the ball really, really well. Probably better than the side in this game. I'll take under 8. I don't think we're going to see a crazy amount of offense. You could also maybe talk me into no run first inning in this game, but I do think the under here is a very reasonable value with Wells and Martin Perez on the mound. You could even take under in the first 5. Any of those unders make sense to me. Hey guys, hopping here with a quick shout out to the sponsor of today and every day's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, UFC, NFL, and college football picks. Tons of great information coming out there every single day. NHL is right around the corner. I know we're running a sale on NHL picks, so you definitely want to go over there to Stump the Spread and check that out. At StumpTheSpread.com, you'll be able to see exclusive free picks that are only posted there. We already have write-ups for college football week, whatever week of college football we're on. A brand new college football pick just dropped there in the free section over at StumpTheSpread.com, so definitely get over there and check that out. There will be other free picks every single day over there at StumpTheSpread.com. That's where you can use our free-to-use bet size calculator, and that's where you can get on our free email list, guys. The email list is a really, really great resource. You get at least one, oftentimes 2 free picks per day, all in one email with tons and tons of information on why we like that pick. Big write-ups covering all the major sports, NFL, college football, baseball, like all the big stuff and all the niche stuff too. You can get information on golf, tennis, NASCAR. It's just a fantastic resource straight to your inbox every single day. Also, if you're having trouble getting those emails, check your spam folder. Sometimes they can end up in there, but all Stump the Spread is going to ask you for. You just click the link in the description. Go over there to StumpTheSpread.com, set up a free account. They're going to want your name and your email address, and that is it. You'll get that email every single day. So definitely get in on that, but also over at StumpTheSpread.com, you got to check in on those premium picks, guys. They are a great value. They can pay for themselves very, very quickly, and they've had some pretty sick days here recently. A 3-0 day back on September 15th, cashing the Chargers as a 1.5 unit play, the Orioles as a 1.5 unit play, and the Astros as a 1 unit play. That was a really, really good day. Sunday was a little bit rough, a little bit of a mixed bag. A lot of very small unit prop plays did not hit, like plays that were like 1/10 of a unit on a big underdog. An unfortunate push there on the Cowboys, who really played terrible. That was not the best day, but Saturday was a very good day. College football really starting to get after it now that we're getting into the meat of the season. Alabama cashing as a 2-unit play. Virginia Tech did let them down, but Utah, a nice 2-unit win. LSU, a nice 2-unit win. Vanderbilt getting 5.5 points, a nice 2-unit win there. Boston College didn't play great, but the baseball that day was also pretty good. No run first inning on Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh-Washington game. That one cashed. The Reds did lose, but the Guardians came through as a 1.6 unit play there. So a lot of solid wins coming there on Saturday. A lot of solid wins coming there on the 15th. On the 16th, so yesterday or today, depending on what time you're watching this video, that was a little bit of a rough day, a 2-3 MLB day, but it's been a pretty reasonable month overall, and tons of football action coming up as the weekend approaches once again. So definitely want to consider getting in the mix over there at StumpTheSpread.com. Also, if you're a huge fan of what you're seeing from us here every single day, click that little join button right below the video to become a YouTube channel member. YouTube channel members get early access to all of our videos, get their name up on screen in every single video, but maybe more importantly, depending on what you're looking for, you get access to our members only giveaways. We give away a Stump the Spread hoodie here every single week to one random YouTube channel member. We put everybody's name on a big wheel. We spin it live on the show. I think it's the 22nd. It'll be whatever it says it's been saying here on the screen, but I believe the 22nd is going to be our next hoodie giveaway. Maybe sooner than that. I'm not sure. And we just hit 100 members, so maybe I'm gonna try and come up with some hats. That would be amazing if I give away some Stump the Spread hats. So definitely, if you're interested, consider clicking that little join button right below the video to become a YouTube channel member. But guys, we got to dive back in. We've got a monster slate here on Wednesday. We got a ton more games to cover. And next up, we're going to be looking at the San Francisco Giants heading to Arizona to take on the Diamondbacks. The Giants and Diamondbacks are actually still playing right now at time of recording. The Giants and Diamondbacks are tied up at 5 apiece in the bottom of the 9th inning, so a very, very tense game in that one. Two teams battling it out to stay in the mix there for the final wildcard spot in the National League. Arizona's 2 games back. The Giants are 2.5 games back. This is a big, big series. Here in Game 3, the Giants are going to hand the ball to Justin Verlander. He's 3-10 on the year, a 3.94 ERA, but he's been throwing the ball amazing his last 4 outings, shutting down the Dodgers over 7 innings, shutting down the Cardinals over 6 innings, shutting down the Orioles over 5 innings. Like, he's been throwing the ball the best he's thrown it all year long here, and when the games are the most important. So not shocked to see somebody like him showing amazing clutch stuff. Now, his history against Arizona, he hasn't pitched against them since back in May when they were a much different looking team, but he had a lot of success there. I'm expecting Verlander to go out there and have a very solid start in this game. The bullpen for the Giants has been excellent over the course of the year. third in the majors right now, a 3.48 bullpen ERA. Maybe some bumps in the road here down the stretch to keep an eye on, but the offense has been what has really drugged this team down. I mean, only 1 run in game 1 of this series, 2 in the last game there against the Dodgers. Over the course of the year, they're 17th in runs scored, 26th in batting average, 24th in slugging percentage. They're just not a very dangerous team at the plate. So we'll see what they can do against the Diamondbacks, who at 76 and 75 in the year have been a pretty big surprise. This is a team that were big sellers there at the trade deadline. Everybody thought they were just, going to sell everybody off and close up shop, and I fell victim to that as well. Well, turns out this team still got a lot of guys on there that want to try and make the playoffs, and they've got a real shot. They're going to hand the ball here to Brandon Pfaadt. He's 13-8 on the year, a 5.31 ERA. His last start was terrible. He really struggled against the Twins. Before that, he had a good start against Boston, but this is not somebody that you've been able to historically trust this year. He does get a weird amount of run support on average, but over the course of the year has not been great. He pitched against the Giants in that series back in May and did not have a good time. So we'll see what Pfaadt looks like out there. Obviously, the Diamondbacks' bullpen's been a big concern all year long. It's been pretty terrible. The offense has been what's bailed this team out. They currently have the bases loaded in the bottom of the ninth with nobody out. So looking like a pretty good chance they're going to come away with a win in game 2. So you got to like the way they're swinging the bats. They're 4th in runs scored, 10th in batting average. So looking at the numbers, guys, the odds makers actually have this listed as a flip. Both teams are minus 110. We've got a total of 9. The Giants are 37-38 on the road, 38-31 and 6 to the over on the road. Arizona 39-34 at home, 35-33 and 5 to the over at home. In terms of the total in this game, I'm going to maybe lean just a hair towards the over, but I don't love it. Much more important than that, guys. I'm going to back Verlander just slightly. I think he's going to pitch great. I think Pfaadt will struggle a little bit, but the Giants' offense is so bad it makes me concerned. So this won't make the pinned comment, but I do think Verlander's going to go out there and have a pretty good start. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Atlanta Braves heading to Washington to take on the Nationals. The Braves are playing great. They're only 69-83 on the year, so they're out of the mix, but they've won 5 in a row. They just won the first 3 games of this series pretty comfortably. A 5-0 loss there in game 3. In game 4, they're going to hand the ball to Hurston Waldrep. He's 4-1 on the year, a 2.78 ERA, looking to shake off his first bad start of his very young, his not that long season, his very young career. 4 2/3 innings, 8 hits, and 8 earned runs allowed against Houston. Not the norm for a kid who's come in and just looked lights out this season. So we'll see what he can do against the Nationals. I'm expecting him to be good. I'm expecting the Braves bullpen to continue to be not great, but they've looked good here against the Nationals, I suppose. Offensively, 5, 6, 11, and 8 over their last few games is amazing for a team that's 21st in batting average and 18th in slugging percentage. So we'll see what they can do here against the Nationals, another team that's out of the mix. They've lost 3 in a row now, and then we'll hand the ball on this one to Brad Lord. He's sporting a 4.21 ERA, coming off a kind of shaky start there against the Pirates. 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs allowed, and gave up a home run, and it was eventually a 6-5 win. He's been pretty all over the place here recently, and going up against an Atlanta team that's hitting the ball well right now might be a little bit scary. He hasn't faced the Braves since back in May, and he was fine, but that was back when he was in the bullpen. So we'll see what he looks like here over a full start. Obviously, the bullpen for the Nationals has been terrible, the worst bullpen in the majors this year. The offense 0, 3, 3, 4, 1, and 6 over their last few is not great. They're 22nd in runs scored. They are 22nd in slugging percentage. This is not an elite level offense whatsoever. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Braves are minus 155. The Nationals are plus 130. We've got a total of 8.5 out there. Atlanta's 31-44 on the road, 36, 33, and 6 to the over on the road. Washington's 31-45 at home, 37, 34, and 5 to the over at home. I do think over 8.5 is reasonable in this game, but better than that, I'll just take the Braves at minus 155. Waldrep on the mound, he's going to bounce back. He's going to look great. I don't think Lord's going to have a very good time in this game, and I know that National Bullpen is going to be terrible because they always are, so go ahead and give me the Braves here on the road. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Cleveland Guardians heading to Detroit to take on the Tigers. The Guardians have turned it around and they're playing great. They're up to 79-71 on the season. They're currently 2.5 games back of Boston, really making the Red Sox sweat and the Astros sweat. So we'll see what they can do down the stretch. Even the Yankees, honestly. So yeah, a lot of good news coming out of the Guardians. They're playing great right now. They're going to hand the ball to Logan Allen in this one. He's 7-11 on the year, a 4.43 ERA. His last start, 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, one of which was earned there against the Royals in a 4-3 loss there for the Guardians. So we'll see if he can get a little bit more run support in this one. He threw the ball great his last time out. He hasn't been super reliable this season, so we'll see what he looks like. The last time he faced the Tigers, though, an amazing start against them back on July 5th where he gave up 1 run over 6 innings. So we'll see what he can do this time. The Guardians' bullpen obviously has been a pretty big strength for this team. A 3.55 bullpen ERA is excellent. The offense woke up and put up 7 runs in game 1 of this series, but over the course of the year and even over the course of their recent success, they haven't hit the ball really all that well. They're still last in batting average and second to last in slugging percentage and on base percentage. Jose Ramirez is hitting the ball well, but other than him, I don't have a lot of incredible things to say about this offense. It's been pretty limited. So we'll see what they do here on the road against the Tigers, who have a 5.5 game lead over Cleveland, a lead that has shrunk a lot recently. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Jack Flaherty, who's 8-13 on the year, a 4.69 ERA. His last start was against the Yankees, and it was one of those Flaherty starts where you're just like, oh yeah, that's why everybody talks about this kid like he's a big deal. 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs allowed, struck out 7, walked 1, in a 11-1 win against the Yankees. Excellent stuff there. We'll see which version of him we get here going up against the Guardians. The last time he faced Cleveland, he was pretty good back in late May. 6 2/3 innings and 3 runs allowed is not terrible. We'll see if he can do that this time. Now, the bullpen for Detroit is not great. A 4.06 bullpen ERA is very concerning. The offense hasn't been particularly good recently either. I mean, 5, 2, 4, 2, 3, and 11 over their last few games. I don't know, guys. They're 9th in runs scored, but 13th in on-base percentage and 13th in batting average, and not swinging the hottest bats coming into this game. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Guardians are plus 125. The Tigers are minus 150. We've got a total of 8.5. Cleveland's a 500 road team. They're 38-31 and 5 to the under on the road. Detroit's 46-29 at home, 38-32 and 5 to the over at home. I'm going to be leaning towards the red-hot Guardians in this game. Getting plus 125 feels pretty good. I'm not in love with Logan Allen being on the mound in this one, but I'm more than happy to fade Flaherty here. Coming off such a good start, the Guardians have tons of momentum after that extra inning 7-5 win there, in their last game. So yeah, I think the Guardians at plus 125 has potential to be the dog of the day. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Sacramento Athletics heading to Boston to take on the Red Sox. The Athletics are playing great down the stretch. They're only 9 games below 500 now, which still means they're pretty much out of the mix, but they have won 5 in a row. So very good stuff there, winning 2-1 in game 1 there in Fenway. In game 2, they're going to hand the ball to Mason Barnett. We'll see what this young 24-year-old right-hander can do. It's going to be his first start in the big leagues this season. No. He pitched in the big... Oh, no, he's been up for a few games. Okay, yeah. His last time on the mound was against the Red Sox back on the 10th, and didn't go great. 3 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs. It was a 5-4 win there for the Athletics, though, so we'll see if he can kind of replicate that, maybe do a little bit better. Obviously, the Athletics bullpen's been atrocious this season, but it's even been showing some signs of improvement, so we'll see how that goes. The offense, 2-7-11, 3-5-0 over their last few games. This is a team with a lot of hitters. Kurtz has looked incredible. They're 12th in runs scored. They're 4th in batting average and 3rd in slugging percentage. Kind of a crime they couldn't put a better rotation around this young team. So we'll see what they look like here on the road, taking on the Red Sox, who have been having a bit of a problem here down the stretch. They're now 7 games back in the AL East. In the wild card hunt, they're currently only 2.5 games up on the Guardians. So they need to be figuring it out here. They're handing the ball to Lucas Giolito. He's 10-4 on the year, a 3.31 ERA, coming off a solid start against the Yankees. 5 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 of which was earned. Not too bad. Now, the Red Sox did lose that game 4-1, so that's not great, but he hasn't been really struggling too much recently. I've liked what I've seen from Giolito. We'll see what he can do here against the Athletics. Definitely a team that's no joke at the plate. Has he not faced? No, he has not faced them yet this year, so we'll see how that goes. The Boston bullpen's been excellent, one of the best 2 or 3 bullpens in the majors this year, so that's not the problem. The problem is their offense is disappearing again. They've scored 1-6-3, 1-4 and 6 over their last few games. They're 6th in runs scored this year. They're 6th in batting average. Congratulations. You're going to have to hit the ball down the stretch. So we'll see what they can do in this one. The odds makers love them here. The Athletics are plus 155. The Red Sox are minus 190. A total of 9 in this game. The Athletics are 37-38 on the road, 36-33 and 6 to the over on the road. Boston is 45-30 at Fenway, 39-34 and 2 to the under at Fenway. This game is a bit of a weird one. I'm going to lean towards the Red Sox here just a little bit. I think Giolito will do enough to get the job done, and Mason Barnett has bad history, but this is not a game where I'm showing much value at all. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Toronto Blue Jays. They're headed to Tampa Bay to take on the Rays. Toronto at 89-62 on the year has a 5-game lead now in the AL East. They've turned things around, winning their last, 6 in a row? They won the first 2 games of this series, each by 1 run, so playing some close games. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Kevin Gausman. He's 10-10 on the year, a 3.44 ERA, coming off that insane complete game shutout there against Houston, where he went 9 innings, gave up 2 hits, no runs, struck out 9, and walked 1. He pitched 9, 8, 7, 6, and 5 innings over his last 5 starts. So he's been ramping up. What is he going to do after pitching a complete game? I would say I'm a little bit worried. We'll see what his history here against Tampa Bay is this year, if he has any. Yeah, he faced them back in May and did not have a good time. So I'm certainly worried about Gausman here coming off of a complete game. That can be a bit rough. The bullpen for Toronto is not an amazing one. They've been okay at times, but really not incredible. They're down to a 3.98 bullpen ERA, though, so recently there's been some success. The offense, maybe figuring it back out, 6-2-11, 5-6-6 over their last few. Definitely looking like they've got it figured out. They're fourth in runs scored, they're first in batting average, they're first on base percentage. This is one of the scariest offenses out there. So we'll see what they can do against the Tampa Bay Rays, who the bottom is just falling out on this team. They now lost 3 in a row and 6 of their last 7. They're going to hand the ball this to Ian Seymour. He's sporting a 3.16 ERA, coming off a mediocre start against the White Sox. 5 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 of which were earned. Not great in a 5-1 loss. I just haven't been in love with the way he's thrown the ball recently. We'll see what he can do against the Blue Jays, a team he hasn't faced this year, but I struggle to have too much faith in him in this spot. The bullpen for Tampa Bay has been pretty good this year, a 3.68 bullpen ERA. That has not been the problem. The main problem is their offense just disappeared kind of in the second half of the year. They've scored 5-1-3, 5-4-1 over their last few. They're 14th in runs scored, 9th in batting average, but all the way down to 20th in on-base percentage. Not a team doing a good job of putting runners in good positions. So, looking at the numbers for this game, the Blue Jays are minus 125. The Rays are plus 105. A total of 8 in this game. Toronto's 38-37 on the road, 38-33-4 to the over on the road. Tampa Bay's 38-37 at home, 39-32-4 to the under at home. I'm actually going to lean a little bit towards over 8 in this game because I think Gausman's going to give up something. I think Seymour's going to give up a lot. So, with that being said, we're going to be leaning towards the Blue Jays here at minus 125. I'm a little bit worried about this being a super public spot, but with Gausman on the mound, he's been throwing the ball so well. Even coming off such a long start, even if he struggles a little bit, gives up a couple runs, the Blue Jays should still win this game. So give me Toronto in this one, and I've got quite a bit of faith here, even though I'm worried about Gausman. Cruising right along here, guys. We're looking at the San Diego Padres heading to New York to take on the Mets. The Padres took the 8-3 loss in Game 1 of this series. They're now 2.5 games back in the NL West. Their wild card position is looking pretty good. They're 4 games up there on the Mets, so they're looking pretty there, but I'm sure they would really like to catch the Dodgers. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Nick Pivetta. He's 13-5 on the year, a 2.73 ERA. He dominated the Reds his last time out, 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs allowed, but these offensively challenged Padres managed to lose that game 2-1. We'll see what he can do in this matchup against the Mets. Probably not a team he's terrified of. Has he faced them this year? He has somehow not faced them. He has not faced the Mets this season. That's kind of crazy. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm expecting Pivetta to be very good. The Padres bullpen has been elite this year. They're currently first in the majors, a 3.10 bullpen ERA. The offense is where this team struggles. They had a good offensive series, at least half a good offensive series there against Colorado, but what will they do in this one? We'll have to wait and see. They're 8th in batting average, 9th in on-base percentage, 20th in runs scored, and 25th in slugging percentage. Just not a ton of super scary bats there for the Padres. So we'll see what they can do in New York, taking on the Mets, who have won 2 in a row. Alvarez getting plunked again. That's not a great feeling, I'll tell you what. We'll see what they can do down the stretch. They're 78-73 on the year, which currently puts them only 2 games up on the Diamondbacks and 2.5 games up on the Giants. Not a great look. They'll hand the ball in this one to David Peterson. He's 9-5 on the year, a 3.77 ERA. Coming off a middle-of-the-road start against the Phillies, 5 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs is not amazing. He really hasn't been amazing over any of his last 3 starts, so I'm a little bit concerned about him even going up against a team like the Padres. He has not faced them this year, so we'll see what that looks like for Peterson. The bullpen for the Mets looked great at some points this year, but right now all the way up to a 4.09 bullpen ERA. That does not make me feel great. The offense, I mean, it's been a problem. I'll be honest. They've scored 8, 5, 2, 3, 4, 3, 3, 0, and 2 over their last few. Maybe these last 2 games are indicative of them of busting out of this slump. They're 12th in batting average, 6th in on-base percentage, 11th in runs scored, but have not hit the ball great down the stretch. So looking at the numbers here, the Padres are minus 105. The Mets are minus 115. We've got a total of 8 in this game. The Padres are 35-40 on the road, 40-33-2 to the under on the road. The Mets are 45-29 at home, 35-36 and 3 to the over at home. No lean on the total here, guys, but I will definitely take the Padres here at minus 105. You got Pivetta on the mound. They're in a bounce back spot. I think they get the win in this one the vast majority of the time, and minus 105 is a very reasonable price. Next on the docket, we've got the Los Angeles Angels heading to Milwaukee to take on the Brewers. The Angels have now lost 5 in a row at 69-82 on the year. Gone is that respectability we were seeing early in the season. I don't know, just been another wasted year of Mike Trout's life and career. Pretty brutal stuff. They'll hand the ball in this one to Jose Soriano, who's 10-10 on the season, a 4.13 ERA. His last start was against the Mariners. Didn't look great. 4 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs allowed, 4 runs allowed overall. His last 2 starts have been terrible, so we'll see what he can do here against the Brewers, a team that is far from terrible at the plate, and he hasn't faced them this year, so we'll see what Soriano can do. I'm not expecting great stuff from him or the Angels bullpen. It's been one of the worst bullpens in the majors this year. The offense is slumping as well. 2, 2, 3, 1, 6, 4, and 12 over their last few games. They're 23rd in runs scored. They're 29th in batting average. They're 28th in on-base percentage. I don't really have anything positive to say about the Angels at the plate at the moment. So looking at their opponent here, guys, I'm definitely taking the Brewers in this one. This has potential to be our lock of the day. I think we're going to see Woodruff have another very good start out there. The Angels are nothing special at the plate, especially right now where they're struggling. So definitely think the Brewers here, even, not getting great odds, have a fantastic shot to be our lock of the day. Rolling right along here, guys, we're looking at the New York Yankees heading to Minnesota to take on the Twins. The Yankees come into this game fresh off a desperately needed 10-9 win there over the Twins in Game 1. In Game 2, they lost Game 1 of the series 7-0. They're now 5 games back of Toronto, so really looking like a wild card situation here for the Yankees. They're 2 games up in the wild card situation there in the American League, so they'll take it, but they've got to play well down the stretch. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Luis Gil, who's 4-1 on the year, a 2.83 ERA, coming off back-to-back of very good starts. Shut out Boston over 6 innings in a 4-1 win. Didn't give up a hit in that outing. Did walk 4, though, I will mention. And before that, he had a great start against Toronto. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run allowed. So can't really complain about the way he's thrown the ball. He's looked great. He's looked great. We'll see if he can look great against the Twins in this one. I do expect him to have a pretty good time against them. They're not exactly an offensive powerhouse. The Yankees bullpen, though, has been a big problem down the stretch. A 4.61 bullpen ERA is not great. The offense did manage to put up 10 runs there in Game 2. They desperately needed every single one of them, though. Volpe coming back, got a cortisone shot. That's usually not a great sign. I don't expect him to be amazing after that, but we'll see. At least he's able to play. The Yankees are first in runs scored and first in slugging percentage. You can't really fault too much about their offense. Let's see if they can get some runs in this one going up against the Twins, who don't have anything left to play for, but I'm sure, be more than happy to be spoilers here against a Yankees team that they probably hate. They'll hand the ball to Taj Bradley in this game after coming over to the Twins. Over the course of his season, he's 6-7 on the year, a 4.88 ERA. In his 4 starts since coming over to Minnesota, it hasn't been great. He's given up 7, 1, 4, and 3 earned runs, respectively. And those starts were against the White Sox, Padres, White Sox, and Angels. So, going up against the Yankees, probably pretty scary. He hasn't faced the Yankees this season since back in May. He actually had a decent start against them then, had a terrible start against them back in April, so we'll see which version of Taj Bradley we get in this one. The Twins' bullpen's terrible. The offense did have 9 runs in Game 2, 7 runs in Game 1, but that is not the norm for this Twins team. Obviously, they've been pretty bad at the plate this year, but when you're going up against that Yankees bullpen, anything is possible. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Yankees are minus 180. The Twins are plus 155. We've got a total of 9 in this game. The Yankees are 39-36 on the road, 38-33-4 to the over on the road. The Twins are 37-38 at home, 37-35-3 to the over at home. I'm definitely not taking over 9. I would take under 9 if anything, but I'm pretty happy to take the Yankees here at minus 180. I don't think we're going to see a miracle start here from Taj Bradley. Minus 180 is not my favorite price ever, and like I was saying, I hate the Yankees bullpen, but Luis Gil's thrown the ball so well lately, and the Yankees need these wins. I think they find a way to get the win in this one. Next on the dock, we're looking at the Seattle Mariners heading to Kansas City to take on the Royals. The Mariners cruising right now. They've won 10 straight games. They're 83-68 on the year. They're a 1/2 game up there in the AL West. They've got to be feeling great about life. They're positioning themselves really well for a wild card spot. If they don't win the AL West, they're looking good. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Bryce Miller. He's 4-5 on the year, a 5.59 ERA. His last start was against the Angels, and they did get the 7-6 extra inning win in 12 innings, but 5 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs. I don't care that you struck out 11 and walked 0. You gave up 4 earned runs. So we'll see what he can do. He's been throwing the ball pretty well. Obviously, a lot of problems there his last time out. Now, going up against the Royals is something he hasn't done this year. So we'll see how that goes. Not the scariest offensive team, that's for sure. The Mariners' bullpen has been a strength of this team most of the year. I will say that. Maybe not dominant, but a strength. The offense is on fire. Cal Raleigh, 56 home runs now. Crazy work. They've scored 12, 11, 5, 2, 7, and 4 over their last few games. They're 10th in runs scored. They're 11th in slugging percentage. This is a pretty scary offense. So we'll see what they do against the Royals. They're 75-76 on the season. They're 7 games back in the American League wildcard hunt. Pretty bleak, looking like the Royals probably going to be out of things here. They're handing the ball to Cole Rangans. He's 2-3 on the year, a 5.18 ERA. Coming off the 60-day IL, his absence was a big problem for them. He hasn't pitched since back in June. We'll see what he looks like out there in this one. He wasn't throwing the ball great before. Will he throw the ball great here against the Mariners? We'll see. I'm not expecting miracles. The Royals bullpen has been pretty good this year. Congrats on that, but the offense has been atrocious. The last few games, they have put up some runs, but they've given up more than they've put up, so it's been rough. They're 28th in runs scored. They're 25th in on-base percentage. So, looking at the numbers for this game, the Mariners are minus 110, the Royals are minus 110. We've got a total of 8.5. Seattle's 34-40 on the road, 42-31 and 1 to the over on the road. That's actually an MLB best to the over. The Royals are 40-35 at home, 47-27 and 1 to the under at home. That's an MLB best to the under. I'm not actually interested in the total in this game. I'm very interested in the Mariners at minus 110, though. I think they're going to win this game the vast majority of the time. I don't love Bryce Miller on the mound, but I think he could have a good start in this one against the very offensively challenged Royals. Seattle's in fuego right now. Give me the Mariners. Next up, guys, we've got a huge game between the Texas Rangers and the Houston Astros. Now, the Rangers have lost 3 in a row. They're now 4.5 games back of Seattle there in the AL West. They have to be winning these games. They're currently 3.5 games back in the American League wildcard hunt, so they really have to get going while the going's good. The Rangers are going to hand the ball in this game to Jacob deGrom. He's 12-7 on the year, a 2.82 ERA. His last start was against the Mets, and he managed 7 pretty impressive innings. He did give up 3 earned runs and a home run in that stretch, but we also saw the Rangers win that game 8-3, so that's what really matters in the end. Over his last 5 starts, he's thrown the ball well, including a very good outing against Toronto and a reasonable start against Houston. We'll see what he can do this time running it back against the Astros. The bullpen for the Rangers has been excellent this year. A 3.60 bullpen ERA is not something I'm going to complain about. The offense all year long has been a bit of a struggle. They did go on that nice little winning streak and they hit the ball pretty well then. They've scored 5, 3, and 2 runs respectively over their last 3 games. It's not ideal. They're 19th in runs scored this year, 25th in batting average, and you can pretty much point to that as the reason they're going to struggle to make the playoffs. Now, they're going up against an Astros team that's won 3 out of their last 4. They still are a half game back of the Mariners in the AL West. They'll hand the ball here to Christian Javier, who's 1-3 on the year, a 4.78 ERA. His last 2 starts have not looked great. Now, he was facing Toronto and the Yankees, so you can excuse that a little bit. We'll see what he looks like here against the Rangers. Not an offensive powerhouse, but, a team that can hit the ball a little bit. So we'll see how he does. The Astros bullpen's been struggling down the stretch a little bit. Their offense, 6-6-3, 6-11, and 0 over the last few has been better than their season average, where they've just been a really good batting average team, but terrible in runs scored. They're 20th in runs scored, so we'll see. We'll see how they do in this one. Looking at the numbers, the odds makers, like the Rangers, they're minus 125. The Astros are plus 105. We got totals out there of 8 or 7.5. The Rangers only 32-44 on the road, 39-36 and 1 to the over on the road. Houston 44-32 at home, 40-33 and 3 to the under at home. I will definitely be backing the Rangers. I'm not backing the Astros in this one. I'll take deGrom in a big pressure spot. I think he comes up big in this game, and the Rangers find a way to get the win. Will this make the pinned comment? I would say it's got a chance. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we're looking at the Miami Marlins heading to Colorado to take on the Rockies. The Marlins got the 6-5 win in Game 1 of this series. They kind of tried to give it away late, but do come up with a win, and they've won 5 out of 6. They'll hand the ball in this one to Ryan Weathers, who's 2-1 on the year, a 2.37 ERA. He came back after missing 3 months and had a good outing against the Nationals. 5 innings, 5 hits, no runs allowed, struck out 4 and walked 0, so his control looked good. Now he gets to go against the Rockies. That's a pretty nice reward. The bullpen for the Marlins has not been very good this year. A 4.35 bullpen ERA is terrible. The offense kind of hitting the ball okay right now. 6-0-6, 8-5, and 8 over their last few is very good for a team that's 16th in runs scored and 19th in slugging percentage this season. So we'll see what they can do here in Colorado. The Rockies, having a historically bad season, already lost 110 games. They're going to hand the ball in this one to McCade Brown. This young 25-year-old's 0-4 on the year, a 9.88 ERA. So not great. He had a pretty middle-of-the-road start against the Padres his last time out, and that was his maybe best MLB start this year. 4 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. He's not impressing me too much. Neither is the Rockies bullpen, one of the worst bullpens in baseball. The offense is also terrible. 5-6-3, 4-0, and 0 over their last 2 games. They're second to last in runs scored. They're last in on-base percentage. I'm not going to waste time talking about the Rockies right now. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Marlins are minus 160. The Rockies are plus 135. We've got a total of 10.5 in this game. The Marlins are 34-38 on the road, 36-34 and 2 to the over on the road. The Rockies are 23-52 at home. That's an MLB worst home mark, 37-36 and 2 to the under at home. I do think under might be reasonable in this game. I don't really care about that one too much, though, because I'll be on the Marlins here at minus 160. Doesn't feel great. They are a pretty big favorite here, but the way Weathers has thrown the ball since coming back from injury, I like that. I think he's got something to prove here at the end of the season. I think he's going to be trying really, really hard, and the Marlins are going to hit the ball well against the Rockies here, so give me the Marlins here at minus 160. Last but not least, guys, we're looking at the Philadelphia Phillies heading to LA to take on the Dodgers in the marquee game of the day. Now, these two teams are somehow still playing. They're in the top of the ninth, tied up at 6 apiece. So we'll see what happens there in game 2. The Phillies got the 6-5 win in game 1. Obviously, these games probably mean a little bit more to the Dodgers, who are having to fight off the Padres. The Phillies have a 12-game lead over the floundering Mets. So we'll see what they do here as they hand the ball to Jesus Luzardo, who's 14-6 on the season, a 4.03 ERA. When he's good, he's great. When he's bad, he's bad. His last start, 8 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs there against the Mets, and struck out 10. Pretty good work there. We'll see what he can do against the Dodgers. Has he faced the Dodgers this season? Yes, back in April. So we don't really care about that. It was a great start from him, but that's too long ago to give it too much credence. He's thrown the ball pretty well down the stretch, but I would not say Luzardo is unhittable. The Phillies' bullpen is very hittable. A 4.33 bullpen ERA is a huge problem. The offense, 6, 3, 8, 8, 6, and 11 over their last few. Sosa going on the IL there with that groin strain is not great news, but they've got other bats. They're 7th in runs scored. They're 2nd in batting average. They are 3rd in on-base percentage. So lots of great stuff to say about the Phillies. Do we have lots of great stuff to say about the Dodgers? We'll see. They are 84-66 on the year. They've got a 2.5-game lead over the Padres. We'll see how things go for them down the stretch. They're going to hand the ball to Blake Snell in this one. He's 4-4 this year, a 2.79 ERA. His last start, he was dominant against the Rockies, but it's the Rockies, so I'm not throwing you a party for that. Start for that, he got shelled by the Pirates. So we'll see which version of Snell we get in this game. He hasn't faced the Phillies at all, so we'll see how that goes. The bullpen situation for the Dodgers, similar to the Phillies, is not good. Very, very not good. The offense, okay. They've hit the ball well. They hit the ball really well against the Giants. Over the course of the year, they're 2nd in runs scored. They're 5th in batting average, but there's been very huge ups and downs for this team at the plate. So looking at the numbers, the Phillies are plus 125. The Dodgers are minus 150. We've got totals out there of 8 or 7.5. The Phillies 39-37 on the road, 43-27-6 to the under on the road. The Dodgers are 48-27 at home, 40-31-4 to the over at home. I will definitely take over 8 or over 7.5. Either one of those seems very reasonable to me. Neither one of these bullpens can get hitters out. The side in this one is a bit tricky to me. I think it'll probably be a close game, just like we've been seeing so far in this series. So I'll take the underdog at plus 125 on the Phillies, but definitely not a pinned comment play, although a very exciting game to watch. Guys, that's all the games we have here for today. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. I really appreciate it. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I'm more than happy to get back to you as often and as much as I possibly can. Make sure you're clicking the link down in the description to get over to stumpthespread.com. Check out all the free picks that we offer over there, but also check out the premium stuff. There's a lot of great information over there at a very, very reasonable price. And tons of sports starting up. If you're interested in hockey, NHL stuff's going to be dropping over there soon, and I know they're running a sale on NHL, so definitely check that out and check out all the free stuff over there and get on the email list. That's a fantastic resource. Guys, we'll see you right back here tomorrow, same time, same place for more sports betting action. We're going to break down the NFL game there on Thursday, and we're going to break down the whole MLB slate.